Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Frey, and here on Heavenly Terp, I love to discuss topics like OnlyFans, festivals, and cannabis. But today for OnlyFans, we're going to be discussing taxes and organization. To get prepared for that time of the year, it's a very stressful thing, and I tried to sum it up in a little PowerPoint slideshow for you to break down all the necessities that you need to know and keep in mind in order to make this time of year a little bit easier for you. So if you're interested in learning more about that, go ahead and stick around. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please feel free to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the little notification bell so that way you get a notification every single time I post. Let's go ahead and dive right in. We're gonna jump into the office to watch the PowerPoint. Hello friends, we have a lot to dive into this video, but I tried to sum it up as easy as possible. It's really not a whole lot of information. It can just be a little bit confusing when it comes to the nitty-gritty. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. I do check my notifications here on YouTube every single day, and I do try to answer every single comment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into taxes and organization. So filling out your W-9 on OnlyFans, a lot of people fill this out incorrectly, and if you fill this out incorrectly, it will mess up your 1099 and your tax filing in the future at the end of the year. So filling out your W-9 on OnlyFans, this is the form over here, but I did break down box by box to make it a bit easier because that is hard to see. However, box 1 here is going to be, it says name as shown on your income tax return. Name is required on this line. Do not leave this line blank. So box 1 is going to be your legal name. So the name that is on your ID. No, none of your fans will see this name. So if any of your fans do call you by your legal name and you don't have it on any social media, they probably know you personally, block them, report them, etc. Box 2 is your business name, regarded or disregarded entity name if different from above. So box 2, you're going to put your stage or your display name. For me, it is Heavenly Terp, so I put Heavenly Terp there. Whatever your stage name, your OnlyFans name is, put that in box 2. That's just going to say and make it easier for when you're going and filing in your deductions. Box 3, you're going to check the box that says individual/sole proprietor or single member LLC. Because you are not a corporation, you are not a partnership, and you are not a trust or an estate, and you are not a limited liability company unless you have your own LLC. Some sex workers, some strippers, exotic dancers, whatever you prefer to be called, some OnlyFans content creators, they will have a LLC as far as taxes and all of that goes. It just makes it to where if anything happens, if you get sued, you personally are not liable. If you have not filed an LLC through the state of which you live in, you have to click individual sole proprietor or single member LLC. Okay? Okay. Because it's very bad if you put LLC and you don't have an LLC, okay? Because you're gonna be filing your taxes all fucking wrong, and you will get flagged by the IRS. Do not do that. So click individual sole proprietor. Box 4 is gonna be exemption codes. You do not have any of these, and if you do have an exemption code, you will know that you have an exemption code. If you don't, you don't. Leave it blank. Just leave it blank. But you will know. Please don't comment asking if you have one. I don't know. If you have one, you will know. Trust me. You'll probably have known your whole life. Okay? Address 5 is your living address. So that's your number, your street and apartment or suite number. Put the address of where you live. Your fans are not going to see this form. Box 6 is your city, state, and zip code. Please make sure you do not put your city, state, and zip code in the box that says address. Box 5 is for 123 Sesame Street Lane. Box 6 is for Sesame City in Portland or whatever, okay? Zip code 33212. Okay, I don't fucking know. But 5, I made that up off the top of my head, I'm sorry. 5 is the street address, 6 is the city, state, and zip code. A lot of people fuck that up, and they have to completely redo their whole W-9 because of it. I think it's kind of funny, but I understand it. It's a little confusing when you're in a rush trying to get it through. And also, I do suggest doing this on a computer. Doing it on your phone is kind of a pain in the ass, and you don't want to miss any boxes. So if you have access to a computer, please do this on a computer. It will make your life so much easier, I promise. But if you don't have a computer, this is why I'm doing this breakdown box by box, so that way you can make sure that you're like moving the form to try to find every box. Box 7, list account numbers. Here, optional. Leave that blank. It's not really worth it. You're going to be giving the IRS your account numbers anyways. Part 1, this is part 1, taxpayer identification number. You're going to put your social security number because we do not have an employer identification number because we are not employees of OnlyFans. We are independent contractors, which is why we have a W-9 and a 1099. So put your social security number in that box. Right here, the top one. Part 2 is going to be certification. That's going to be where you sign and you date down here. Once you sign and you date, you're good to go. This form is filled out. So understanding your 1099 NEC. This is what you're going to be getting at the end of the year. Or at the beginning of the year, I guess would be, because you get them in January. I got mine today. However, you can also get it virtually. So I filed my taxes already because I just got it virtually. If you go on your OnlyFans, hit settings, hit bank to earn, it should pop up a little box right there that says, click here to see your 1099 and click here to edit your W-9. So understanding your 1099 NEC, there should not be any federal taxes withheld. That's going to be in box 4 down here. It should be blank. The number in box 1, non-employee compensation, should match the number shown on your OnlyFans bank or on your banking tab on OnlyFans after the OnlyFans 20% fee, aka your net income. So the number that is shown in box 2, your non-employee compensation, should be the number that you received in your actual bank account, not the number that the fan paid. So that's after the OnlyFans 20% that they take. The only thing you should really have on this entire 1099 should be the correct year over here, first of all. Make sure it has the correct year. It should have the payer's name, city, address, all of that. So for OnlyFans, it's like Felix Company or something like that. And I believe they're stationed in Fort Lauderdale. That might only be for people that live in Florida. But mine says it's from Fort Lauderdale. So that, just saying. I don't know if that's accurate to, you know, people outside of Florida, but I live in Florida and mine says it comes from Fort Lauderdale. So it should say Felix whatever company and then the Fort Lauderdale address. Payers 10, that's going to be OnlyFans, that's their like tax number as an LLC. That's why you don't want to click LLC on your W-9 if you're not an LLC. Because if you are an LLC, you will receive a TIN number from the government, and that is what you put into your taxes and whatnot. So that way you personally aren't charged, it's your business. So that's why you don't want to click, that's why you want to click sole proprietor, independent person, whatever, on your W-9. Because the recipient's TIN should be your social security number. Unless you have an LLC. Okay? Your recipient's name is going to be your name, your address. Make sure that's correct. If it's not correct, you just need to update it on your W-9. Because that's where it's going to get sent. And you want to make sure your W-9 has the correct address. Luckily, I moved literally right next door, and I know the people that live next door. So anything that I like forgot to change my address on, they just give it to me. But not everyone's that lucky. So make sure you go through and change your address, okay? So deductibles. Understanding deductibles can be the key difference factor in owing taxes or getting taxes back. So typically, if you do not have a 9-to-5, if you do not have an hourly or salary job where they are taking taxes out of your paycheck, typically you're going to end up owing taxes at the end of the year for OnlyFans before you put in your deductions, because it shows that you made X amount of money and didn't pay any taxes on it the entire year. However, if you have a job that you receive a W-2 from, meaning you are an hourly or salary employee and you're also doing OnlyFans, most of the time those taxes will cancel out to where it will just end up zero, and you won't get anything back before you put in your deductibles, and your deductibles is what makes you get money back. Now, I do want to say that these are just the main deductible categories that OnlyFans content creators use. There are other categories that you can go through and deduct things from. Just make sure that they're actually used for OnlyFans, because they will audit you if they think something is fishy. So make sure that you actually are, putting the right deductibles in. These are just the main categories for OnlyFans that OnlyFans creators use. So the first one is supplies, health costs, depreciating assets, commissions and fees, a percentage of your phone bill, percentage of your utilities, your office space, or a percentage of your rent. I wouldn't do both, just one or the other. Business meals, office equipment, travel, hotel costs, etc. So those are going to be your main deductible categories, and breaking them down, what are some examples of these main categories? Because you're like, Frey, that's great, that's awesome, but I don't know what the fuck any of that means. I'm here to help. Supplies would be outfits, toys, shoes that you are only using for content. Like, these are things that you only use for content. Any makeup that you only use for content. Any nails that are glue-on that you only use for content. Accessories that you only use for content. You get my drift? That's supplies. Health costs, that's going to be insurance premiums, if you pay out of pocket for your birth control, if you pay out of pocket for any testing that you have to do in order to collab with other creators, etc. Those are health costs for your business that's covered, including your entire premium of your health insurance, because if you weren't an independent contractor, you would have the option of having health insurance through your employer. Depreciating assets, that's going to be beds, cameras, vehicles, things that are only used for content, but that inevitably will depreciate over time, and inevitably you will have to replace furniture, etc. Commissions or fees, that's going to be the 20% OnlyFans fee. So that's why you want to make sure that on your 1099, the non-employee compensation specifically only has your net pay and not your gross pay. And how are you going to find out the total of your 20% OnlyFans fee in order to put in your commissions and fees? You're going to take your gross income that's shown on OnlyFans, and you're going to subtract your net income, and whatever is remaining is the total number OnlyFans took from you for the entire year in order to use their platform. That is a commission, that is a commission or fee. So your 20% OnlyFans fee, you have to pay that in order to work. Same thing with strippers. Your house fee every day, your house dues, that is a deductible because you have to pay that in order to work. So if you're using Fansly, same thing, the percentage that they take. Any platform that takes a percentage, that is a commission or fee. Your phone bill. So what percentage of your phone do you use for work? Do you have a phone that's specifically only a work phone and then you have a personal phone? Or do you have one device and you kind of use it for both? If you do, you have to figure out what percentage of your phone you use for work and what percentage you use for personal use. I separate mine into thirds because I also do another job on my phone. I'm not going to say what because I'm not going to dox myself. But I do 2 jobs through my phone and then personal use as well. So I dox it up into 3 little things or whatever. So it's 33.3% for OnlyFans, 33.3% for my other business, and 33.3% for personal use. That's what I put in, and then I take my entire amount of my phone bill for the year and I divide it by, or I multiply it by 33.3%, and that gives me the number, which I think was like $514 for the whole year. And that was my phone percentage for using for work. So utility percentage. What percentage of your utilities do you use for work? Typically, a lot of people put 20 to 30%. It is completely up to you, but don't go overboard because, again, they will audit you if it looks suspicious. Office space / rent. Again, I wouldn't do both. If you're going to be doing a percentage of your rent, again, I would say 20 to 30%. If you're doing an office space, take the square footage of the office space, subtract it from the entire square footage of the house, and then I believe you divide that by your rent. You can Google how to do that if that is not correct, but it will give you a percentage of your rent every month or every year that is set for that specific square footage of the property, if that makes sense. Business meals. So 50% of meals related to work can be a tax deductible. So I would keep your receipts and put a little note on the back of them because you do have to have specifics about it if you ever get audited. What the meeting was for, who was there, etc. And it's 50% of the total. So if you go to Dairy Queen, you spend 20 bucks, you get 10 bucks of that back on your taxes, is the way that it's supposed to work, essentially. Office equipment is computers, chairs, etc. You don't want to put that under depreciating assets because that's office supplies and it's a little bit different. Travel hotel costs. Typically, if you're using your own vehicle, the standard is 56 cents a mile. So make sure that you are keeping track of how many miles you are obtaining on your personal vehicle for work-related purposes. And then I would put that amount of miles in the calculator, in the deductible spot, and they typically will give you 56 cents a mile. As well as the hotel total. So if you are getting let's just say you're going to Exotica as a marketing kind of event and you get a hotel, that hotel cost is a deductible, so keep the receipts and make sure that you have information on the back and proof of the event, because if you try to make up an event, they will audit you and get your ass. Don't make up events, okay? Same thing for Airbnbs. If you're renting out an Airbnb to make content in, make sure that there is proof of the fact that it was a work-related event, okay? This is a big note that I think a lot of people are missing and confused about, so I'm going to elaborate on it. Permanent things cannot be tax deductions. That's eyelash extensions, acrylic nails, hair extensions, etc. Only a percentage of the service can be deducted because you benefit from it outside of work. So because it cannot be removed, like my hair dye, for instance, part of it is a tax deductible, but not all of it because I benefit from it outside of work. Like, this is my hair for me and Heavenly Turp. So that is why it cannot be a full tax deductible, but a percentage of it can be. And typically I would put that percentage at 50% if all you do is work and personal and you are working full-time hours. However, glue-on nails, glue-on lashes, clip-in hair extensions, etc. can be tax deductible because it can be removed at the end of your workday. So for instance, I only buy glue-on nails. Do I remove them every day? No, the fuck I do not. Can I? Yes, I can. That is why it's a tax deductible, because if I didn't want them on my nails for outside of work, I could pop them off and save them and put them back on for work. That's why it can be a tax deductible. It is normal for most lower income businesses to have more deductions than income. This means you will have no taxable income because it went back into the business progression. So for instance, this year, if you made $12,000 and your deductibles are $15,000, that's fine. That is normal for most small businesses. You are considered a small business. So until you're making full-time hour kind of money, you're not going to be seeing your income higher than the deductions, because most of the time, every single penny you make goes right back into the business, which is why most people that are OnlyFans creators at the start still have a 9-to-5 or a regular hourly salary job, so that way they can supplement their income while they're building their OnlyFans income. So, it's completely normal, and just so you know, if you own a small business, for everyone who's like freaking out about taxes this year, taxes are only being fucked for the people who do not own businesses. I'm going to say that one more time. Taxes are only being fucked for the people that do not own businesses. America loves business owners. Capitalism. Horrible fucking world we live in. But it's true. America loves business owners. And you get tax break after tax break. After tax break. For being a business owner. Use them. Use them. You will get more money back, even with your hourly and salary job. Blech. You will get more back if you own a business. Even if it's not OnlyFans. That's why I have another business. I'm just saying. Organizing tips. So this is a literal screenshot of mine. Like, this is literally my Google Sheets. Use Google Sheets or Excel to keep track of your purchases and other deductibles. This will make it easier at the end of the year to do your calculations without having to go back into your bank statements and figure out all the calculations of your bank statements. It's a pain in the ass. That's what I had to do this year, and that's why I made this. Update the document monthly to not overwhelm yourself or get behind. So, in 2023, I did not do this, and I had to, this year when I went to go file my taxes, go through my bank statements and calculate everything, and I didn't get all of my deductions because I didn't fucking keep track of half of it. So, definitely make sure that you have some sort of way to track your deductions and keep them categorized. Supplies, work-related car use, business meals, commissions and fees, travel expenses, depreciating assets, health costs, etc. Make sure you have them, okay? I made my little Google Drive folder, and I put taxes, and then I put deductions, and then I put a little Google sheet for each and every one of them. And then when you're done, you can just move those all into its own little folder that says 2024, and then you can start all over again with 2025, at the end of 2025, put into a little folder that says 2025, and then you have all of your taxes in your Google Drive. If you didn't know, Google Drive is free, and yes, you can use it on an iPhone. Definitely get yourself a Google Drive. It will save your life. If you need more help, don't be afraid to go to a tax professional, even just once, and pay them to have them explain it to you and help you maximize your return. It is worth it if you are nervous about messing anything up. A lot of people get nervous when they start OnlyFans because a lot of us start OnlyFans at a young age, at like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, never owned a business before, don't have any fucking idea what we're doing. If you want, it is worth it to go pay a tax professional at like H&R Block or a local tax office in your area in order for them to explain it to you. They will literally sit down they will lay out everything for you and explain it to you to where you won't ever have to use them again. But they do make it a lot easier to where you literally just send them your receipts and your 1099s and W-2s and all of that, and they just do it for you, and they make sure that you get the maximum amount possible back. But they do take a fee. It's not really that much of a fee. In my opinion, I definitely think it's worth it if you need someone to really break shit down, because this was the most basic video on taxes ever, and it's already 25 minutes long. So I'm just saying, there's a lot to go over and a lot to go into, and I was just trying to help you with the fucking most basic shit. So if you really need if you're one of those people that needs to know every in and outs of it in order to feel comfortable doing it by yourself, definitely go to a tax professional, because having someone sit down with you one-on-one in person and actually dedicate their time to educating you on your finances and on the best way to organize your finances, do it, because it will greatly benefit your life. But thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you for hearing me ramble and try my best to educate you on taxes for OnlyFans. I know that it is a lot to go over, and I personally have someone help me, so I'm not a tax professional by any means. But I do know a bit more than what I did when I started, and it makes it a lot easier to have someone kind of help, not force everyone to have to go through 3 years of fucking it up to get it right. So thanks so much for sticking around. Make that bag, shake that ass, and have a great fucking day. Mwah. See you next week.